everyone, thanks for coming back. This is US Agent 27 from the MUCollectorClub.com forums, and I'm back today with another toy review. Today we're actually going to be taking a look at something a little bit different. We're going to be taking a look at a Revoltech figure. Specifically, the Revoltech Iron Man Mark V. The Revoltech figures have been around for, quite a little while. I actually used to have the Revoltech Mark VI, and I actually traded that one in, and I picked up the SH Figure Arts Mark VI, which I actually do like better than the Revoltech. But we're going to take a look at the Mark V from Revoltech, and we're going to compare it to the Hasbro Mark V before the Hasbro Mark V goes to his new home, to Kung Fu Grip, aka Kevin from our forums. Speaking of forums, if you guys haven't checked us out, make sure you guys come check us out at MUCollectorClub.com, where you're going to find up-to-the-minute toy news and reviews, as well as just a great community of folks who share the same interests that you do. So here's a look at the packaging. Here's the back of the box, so you can see some of the poses that you can get the figure in. Up here, you can see some of the accessories he comes with. He comes with a bunch of hands, a briefcase, and then a little box, and then a stand. I really don't use a stand, and I'll show it, but I don't really use it. A bunch of writing in Japanese, don't ask me what it says, and then the front of the box you have the figure laid out with all of his accessories. I have already removed the figure from the packaging to save time, so we're going to go ahead and kind of get started. These Revoltech figures are pretty cool. If you haven't picked them up, I definitely recommend you check them out. So here, let's have a look of the Revoltech Iron Man Mark V. Now the one problem I have with mine is he doesn't like to stand too well. And that's simply just because of the way I have his legs. I actually have him in a case with all my other armors, and he stands pretty well. Now, before we start looking at the figure, let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories that he comes with. The first accessory that he comes with, I'll just set him off to the side, is his little briefcase. And the briefcase came out really, really nice. It looks a lot like the Hasbro version, and just like the Hasbro version, the briefcase doesn't open. I really wish they would make one of these that opened up and maybe put some armor pieces inside. That'd be kind of cool, but overall, it's a good display piece. I probably won't do that much with it. The other thing he comes with is this little box. This is basically a parts box. All the Revoltech figures come with this, and take out his parts. I'm going to be very careful because I am in the review room. I tend to lose things in here. He comes with a display stand, Iron Man Mark V from Iron Man 2. He comes with an open hand, or like a flight hand. And you can see there, that's just going to be swappable. Another open hand. He's got kind of open palm, so like repulsor blast. Now he doesn't have anything you can peg in for like the blast effects that some of the other figures have, which would have been kind of cool, but still decent looking. And then the other hand, really nice detail work on the hand, really nice shiny paint. And then he has his two fists on him as well. Let's set that aside, and I'll show those again. Maybe I'll pull a couple hands off and show you. Alright, so when I first got the figure, one thing I want to mention is this figure, you can completely take him apart. He comes apart at all the joints, which is good and bad. When I first got him, they basically wrapped plastic around every single joint. And my understanding, they did the same thing with the Mark VII, which I have coming tomorrow. So I'm going to have to take him apart and get the plastic off. The other thing you're going to see is in his arc reactor. That's supposed to be all white. I put a little bit of blue paint in there for detail work, and I think it looks kind of cool. Just because it looked kind of plain all white. But the sculpt on this guy is really, really nice. I mean, he looks just like he did in the movie. It's a movie accurate costume. He looks very cool. So here's the front. Here's the side. And what you're hearing are the Revoltech ratcheting joints. And here's his back and his other side. So before we get into articulation and all that, let's go ahead and compare him with the Hasbro version. Because once we go right articulation, you guys all know what the Hasbro typical Marvel Legends articulation's like. We'll spend some quality time with this one, going over his articulation. So let me pull out the Hasbro version. So here's the Hasbro version. Right away you can see a difference. I mean, I can see a difference in the face sculpt. This one looks like almost meaner. The silver on the Hasbro version is not as vibrant as it is on the Revoltech. The red paint is more of a, I don't know what's the right word for it. It doesn't look as vibrant as this red paint here. The arc reactor does have a little bit of blue around it, which I do like. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not going to review this guy, but he also comes with interchangeable hands, and he also comes with a briefcase as well. I'll show that real quick. Which again, looks just like the other one. I think the Revoltech one is a little bit better quality, but still nice nonetheless. So as you can see, the Revoltech figure, one of the things that people usually ask me about these figures, are they in scale? And you can see, yes, he is. His legs are bent just a little bit. You can straighten him out a little bit more. But he's definitely in scale with the other Iron Man armors that are out. Alright, so we're going to set aside the Hasbro version. We're going to go over articulation. So like I was saying, with these Revoltech figures, they're all on these Revoltech joints. So his arm will go up that far. And his shoulder pads, basically, they're on a joint themselves. They go back and forth, both of them do. He can flex his arm just like that. So that's pretty good. And here's a look at the joint. Let me just show you what that looks like. You can actually, like I said, pop these out. And this is basically the Revoltech joint. And then you just pop it back in. Okay. He has waist articulation. He can look down. He can look up. Doesn't go up as much as I would like it to. He's got I think another joint right here, so he can look to the side and side. His legs can go all the way up. They can go back about that far. They can go out to the side and back. This little hinge piece right here helps with the articulation. It helps hide it, which is good. His knees will do a full bend, but then you do have the joint exposed. Some people don't like that. For me, it's not that big of a deal. If I'm going to pose him, I can be creative. I can pose him like that. You would never see the joint. And this will spin. Again, I could pop that out. His feet. He doesn't have ankle pivot, but he does have the ratchet joint, so it's going to go down. And we'll go side to side. You can kind of turn it a little bit. Actually, you can turn it all the way around, because this joint will actually just pop right out if you need it to. Goes back in. And he's got a toe joint, so it's going to go up and down. And that's it for pretty much articulation. The only thing I dislike about the figure is if you look at his legs will not go completely straight. They're always going to have that little bit of a bend in them. So that can be a challenge with posing, if you want to get him in a standing position. But again, if you work with the figure and you're good at posing, you can easily pull it off, and he's a great figure to pose. And I really like the paint job on him. I think he looks impressive. I mean, he looks great in my display case with all the Iron Man armors. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. This is a shorter review, but that is the Revoltech Mark V. Again, this has been US Agent from the MUCollectorClub.com forums. And make sure you guys come check us out for further reviews. Oh yeah, real quick before I forget, his hands. They are on a swivel, and you can go back, forward, and to pull his hands out, they just pull out, and then what you would do is you would pull this little joint out, the Revoltech joint, and put it in one of the other hands, and then pop this right inside. So that's about it. And then he's good to go. Alright, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let's get Iron Man in a mean looking pose before we go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the review. Please come check us out at mucollectorclub.com for, like I said, up-to-the-minute news reviews. We will be covering San Diego Comic-Con. Alright, thanks guys. Please rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos.